If you think about the insurance part of what we do, insurance and insurance providers, they want to make sure that if you are a member or part of their insurance company, that you are providing them with accurate and relevant information in order for them to decide whether they're going to support you in a claim or not. And that's going to be dealt within their guidelines. So when you look at somebody who registers with FACES and you all have insurance as an aesthetic practitioner, the insurance company are going to request through their terms and conditions that you provide a consent form. And in that consent form, you must have the treatment name, you must have the date, the time of the appointment, before and after photos, the batch number, you must have the price of the treatment that you charge, and you must also have aftercare to match the treatment to show that you're providing patient care before treatment, pre-treatment, which is why we do a booking system so that they can book in prior to it in advance, which is why then they deliver the treatment and you have evidence of before and after photos with a signature. And you also provide this information afterwards where you send the client the consent form and you provide them with the aftercare. If the client who hasn't completed any of them statements and you have no notes, you then want to make a claim against that client. That client hasn't completed the consent form and you haven't completed the consent to go with the appointment for that client correctly, it's invalidated your insurance. So the £500 or £1,000 per year you're paying in insurance is now invalid. The insurance companies prey on the fact that 80 to 90% of people do not complete their consent form correctly. They just use the consent form, they don't use the treatment. They don't add the treatment price in. There's no proof of payment that's being collected. There's no recorded system. The batch number wasn't added in. The after photos were on your phone, so they're not stored properly with GDPR instead of them being placed onto the app. All of these components all of a sudden invalidate your insurance. So what we're trying to say is if you are a practitioner and you're trying to have insurance, make sure you do it properly. Make sure you have a treatment name. Make sure that you have the consent form attached to that treatment. Make sure you have the treatment date. Make sure it's provided to the client in advance. Make sure you have the price of that treatment, all the client's details. Make sure that you've got your before and after photos, the batch number attached to the treatment. This way you're protecting yourself completely and you have consent that has been assigned before treatment and after treatment so that you can say that this patient was fully aware of the risks and rules, because verbal consent now is not enough. It has to be recorded, which is why all of our consent forms are GDPR protected, they're HIPAA compliant, they have got trusted by the insurance companies that are on our app, and we're trying to give you the best opportunity to become compliant. Now, an insurance company is going to look for flaws in your work. So the moment you say, yes, I've got patient consent, or you actually haven't got full patient consent, or you haven't complied with the consent form on the appointment form correctly, they can wash their hands of you. So you're paying all this money every single month for them not to cover you because you didn't take that extra bit of time to make sure the consent was done properly.